I wasn't. I just finished. I had no idea the Diddy documentary would be episodes. Episodes. I knew a documentary was coming out. I thought it'd be like a documentary. You know, like when you see a documentary, it's a feature-length film, but it's a documentary. This is episodes. 50 Cent produced a documentary about Diddy that he's apparently been working on for a decade. And it has episodes. I've never hated someone for episodes. That's why every person I've ever hated has been a very short story. I'm just like, oh, we don't really get along. I feel like they betrayed me, and that's about it. 50 Cent sat the world down for 4 episodes. This is crazy. 4 episodes with some of the most. This is some of the best footage I've seen in a documentary, because what they did, this is insane. This is fundamentally crazy, okay? The documentary starts with Diddy in a hotel room talking to his staff and his lawyers about what to do about this like incoming indictment, right? It's like 5 days before he gets arrested, right? And as I'm watching this, I'm like, that's curious, because this is 50 Cent's documentary about Diddy, yet there's a camera in Diddy's hotel while he talks to his lawyers. He's talking to his lawyers about a strategy on what to do, like a game plan. How did 50 Cent get this footage? Is he in disguise? How is he in the room for this thing? And then this dude's like on the phone. Diddy is on the phone, and he's talking about how we need to be aggressive, we need to come back. He literally says we need to get like the dirtiest, most like expert propaganda we can out there, which, okay, insane to say on camera, a camera I think you know is there. That's wild. I just had this question in my head of like, how did they get this footage? Turns out that Diddy was making a documentary and he had started recording everything, because this documentary was going to be about like his comeback, right? So he's like covering everything himself, recording everything himself, so he has his point of view out there, right? So then he was going to make a documentary. He thought he was going to beat everything and then make a documentary, release that documentary, and then get everyone on his side again. And now you have to ask yourself, how did 50 come into the possession of Diddy's footage for Diddy's documentary about Diddy? This is crazy, because he's making a document himself, but then he took that documentary. Apparently what happened was that Diddy did go to jail, and then he couldn't pay the cameraman. So then 50 was like, I'll pay the cameraman. And Diddy is such a terrible person. He is such a terrible person that even in the documentary he was making about his comeback, it makes him look so bad that 50 didn't need to edit any of it. It literally, he already said on a camera he knew was there, we need to get the dirtiest, like most filthy expert propaganda we can out there. That was for his documentary. And then 50 took it and he was like, this will do nicely. Yes. This is fantastic. Because I was sitting there, I was like, because also the other thing happened. So he gets off the phone with his lawyers, gets off the phone with his team and everything. And then he stands up and he's looking out the window And out the window, he's like, gotta be like 26th floor or something. He's like in like a high rise, and across on the roof of another tall building, but on the roof of another building is just, Diddy is looking out the window to another building, and on top of that building is just the police. I'm not the police, so I don't know exactly how they operate, but that's the first. Usually in a stakeout, they hide. The fact that the police are outside Diddy's window on another building just like... This is crazy. Once again, this is his footage. His footage. That's wild. 50 Cent has been promoting this documentary with glee. He's been going because he hates Diddy so much. He hate Diddy. You think you hate stuff. You do. You think you hate things. Ooh, I hate racism. No, not as much as 50 hates Diddy. Ooh, I hate sexism. You haven't even met sexism if you compare it to how much 50 hates Diddy. Oh, I hate olives. You love olives compared to how much 50 hates Diddy. Not ready for how much 50 hates Diddy. He hates first of all, he hates some episodes. He hates this man. Episode after episode, he hates him enough to get good footage. Narrative stringing footage. Complete through line footage. Never before seen footage. Man, he hates this dude. He's been promoting, he's been going everywhere, going on talk shows, everything. He goes on all these talk shows. This dude went on like MS Now, whatever they're calling it, and he's talking, I think he was talking to Ari Melber, and Ari is asking him, just seems like they're having a conversation about like him specifically, and they were like, do you have any like heroes, people you look up to? And from what I could tell, 50 was basically like, I have people in my life that have accomplished things that I would like to accomplish, but I don't put anyone up on that level to just like call them my hero. He doesn't like deify a person like that. And then Ari asked him, what about like in your life, have you seen any like villains you don't want to be like, people you don't want to pattern your life after? And he was like, he's like, Diddy. Because this dude has been making this documentary for a while, just quietly, in the shadows, just collecting, just making it happen. A decade of work going into a documentary. And now it's like he gets to show it off. This is his baby. And you know how new parents are. You know how this is the miracle of life happened through you. You made this person that you see, it's changed your whole perspective on the world. You see this person now that you can't, anyone brings up, how have you been lately? How have I been? This person, the miracle of life, my baby. Look, do you want to see my baby? Do you want to see pictures of the baby? You have thousands of pictures of the baby. But no parent that I've ever met is promoting their child the way 50 is promoting this documentary series. This man went on, apparently, this is the rumor, apparently he went on like the ABC stations specifically to do the interview because ABC is one of the only stations they play in prison. This is a biblical amount of hate. Cain didn't hate Abel this much. This is wild. He is doing everything but looking right to the camera, smiling and waving at Diddy. This is insane. This is wild. He's smiling so hard. I've never seen him smile like this. This man's smiling. 50 Cent in every interview is smiling ear to ear. I didn't know he had dimples. I think they just came in. Wow, he hates him so much. Oh man, wow. He hates him. So like, I've never seen hate like this, and to produce something that is both like a product of your hate, because most hate is fruitless. You know, people talk about hate, and one of the was one of those famous quotes: "Hate is drinking poison and hoping the other person will die." Apparently, hate is also making a documentary series detailing how much everyone else should hate this person. One of the craziest things to me about the Diddy documentary is that the pure length means that he's more evil now. Now that we've got like a documentary about it, he's more evil now than a bunch of other historical figures. There are people from World War II that did not get 4 episodes on them anywhere. That's crazy. During the trial, I don't know if y'all saw this, but there were some people that were they were out there saying like free Diddy. They were out there, you know, with signs like picketing, like he might be innocent and maybe he was just another innocent black man being railroaded by the system. And apparently all those people were being paid $20 an hour by Diddy. Here's the thing. This is what's so funny about that to me, is that like, they're out there being like he's innocent, but they're also not hiding the fact that he is paying them to say that. And not only is he paying $20 an hour to stand outside and be like, yo, free Diddy outside the courthouse, but even while paying $20 an hour, he was only able to get like 14 people. Do you know how guilty you have to be offering up money and then if people just pass it by the street like, I think I'm good. Do you know how many people could use $20? People literally, you know, get on the train asking for change in New York all the time. And even they were like, you know what? Not every $20 is a good $20. Oh, this documentary is insane because there's so much that we knew beforehand. There's so many things that we already knew where we were like, all right, this is, you know, we've all seen it. A lot of baby oil, way more baby oil than anybody needs, right? Which I will say this, watching the documentary now, knowing what we know, editing wise, they didn't need that many shots of baby oil. That does feel like 50 Cent was standing in the editing room like, no, and put some baby oil right there. No, they mentioned baby oil, so go ahead and throw to the baby oil. Okay. Oh, but you watch it and yeah, you already knew the things he was implicated in. You already saw, oh, okay, there's this shooting way back when, there's this assault of this other rapper, there's all these like whisperings, and then you watch the documentary, and I don't know how he did it. I don't know how 50 Cent did this. This man managed to get things we've never seen before. Do you know how hard it is to have never before seen footage of things from like 20, 25 years ago? Like, a good example is, in the documentary, they talk about how much Diddy may have had to do with the deaths of both Tupac and Biggie, right? Which is also insane that someone who can't rap at all may have deprived us of 2 of the greats. That's crazy. It's so disgusting. It would be like if Trump shot 2 of the presidents that were on Mount Rushmore. Like, Like, oh. And then years later, we're just sitting here like, not Lincoln. How you gonna do that to George Washington? No, it's wild. And so in the documentary, there's like footage, never before seen footage of moments leading up to the deaths of both Biggie and Tupac. I can't describe how hard it is to come by things we didn't even know existed. Both of these were police investigations. The police investigated, not hard, the police investigated both the deaths of Biggie and Tupac, and somehow 50 Cent found footage. I've never in my life hated somebody enough to find footage. There's like this video, and this is also, you gotta go back to when this happened. This isn't when everybody had like a footage maker in their pocket. Do you know how we are accidentally being surveilled at all times? All of us. I know you think you're not because maybe you don't have your phone out and you're not posting where you are all the time, but the phone knows. The phone is very aware of where you are. And the phone loves snitching. The phone, one of your phone's favorite things to do is hit up a Fortune 500 company and be like, we over here. In case you want to study our patterns, figure out how to advertise to us, we're right here. We are completely and totally surveilled all the time. People don't realize that, like, even if your phone is off, you were just taking a walk. Maybe you're like, you know what? I want to break. I want to break from everything. I'm going to take a quick break. I might even leave my phone at home and I'm just going to go for a walk. That's great. Detach for a second. The thing in your pocket is too much of your life, and too much access to you comes through that thing. Like, sometimes just for the sake of your mental well-being, it's important to take a break from it, right? And you assume when you take that break that the phone can't even snitch. Meanwhile, you're taking a break, walking through your neighborhood, getting caught on every Ring camera. Everybody got Ring camera. You getting caught from Ring camera to Ring camera to Ring camera to Ring camera to Ring camera. And even when they try to ping your phone, the phone like, he not here. Like, the phone loves snitching on you. The idea that like any crime goes unsolved is wild to me. The way we are surveilled now, I'm like, how'd you not catch them? I know where they are right now. It's crazy. So you go back a little bit. Go back to before it was so easy to keep track of everyone. Because even when people text you, they expect an answer from you. They have your number. They know it went to your phone. It said delivered on their end, right? And unless you fixed it on your phone snitched on you to them. It said read to them. It said read. It said he saw it. He just don't want to answer. It said it. It told you. It told you immediately, right? And so even when you text someone, we expect immediate answers. We expect a sort of immediacy from everyone. And if you're not getting it, then it must mean something, right? Let's go back to a simpler time. Go back to the 90s when, yeah, you could just move about the world. I'm surprised people in the 90s, like, I'm a 90s baby, but I was a baby. I was a child. I didn't have the chance to take the opportunities allowed. But how did everybody that was an adult in the 90s not serial kill? It seemed like it was right there. Anytime somebody older than me hates somebody else older than me, I'm like, you could have been dealt with that. That seemed like, you don't want to solve a problem, that's on you. But like, I'm just saying, it's crazy to look back. Even like CCTV footage from like 1990, it is indistinguishable from a game of Pong. Like, it is It's so unclear what is happening in the thing. I can't believe anyone ever went to jail off of the original CCTV footage. It's so hard to tell what is happening. I can't tell if that's somebody beating somebody up on a street corner or if that is the Sasquatch. It could be either one of them. Black and white, barely imaging, got pixels everywhere, just moving, and it's like, as you can see right here, no, I can't see that. I can't see that at all. Even when I watch old episodes of Law and Order, and then they play the footage, that's how you know it was bad. I'm watching on TV, them pretend to be lawyers on TV, and they're still like, as you can see right here, and even sitting at home, I'm like, there's no way anybody can see anything. Like, is this where I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief and be like, it's a TV show, I can see it. Like, go back to a simpler time, right? Go back to a time where if you wanted there to be footage of something, you had to go out of your way. Yeah. Truly out of your way. You accidentally make footage now. People don't realize that, but like even some of the things that get people caught when they do a crime weren't even them being stupid. But some people are very dumb. Some people are incredibly dumb. And they're like, look at me doing a crime. That is happening. And that's happening a lot. We got to get the youngins to stop doing the crime in front of their phone and then posting it. Doing the crime at all is bad. We should start there. But also, doing the crime and recording it is insane. Doing the crime, recording it, and posting it yourself. We have got to, the snitch is in the house. Like the snitch is you. The snitch is in the mirror. There's no one got to tell on you anymore. You post it. Look at me doing the crime. At what time is it? Let me take a screenshot of myself. Hold it today's. Let me take a screenshot of myself holding up another phone with today's most viral TikTok so that everybody can know for certain that it was me and I did it and I'm proud of it. And then when I show up in court, I'll be like, who? No, truly, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to the 90s when you could just go for a walk, having, I don't know, killed somebody, and then I don't even, like, truly, I don't know how up until recently, up until like the true sort of overwatching surveillance police state that we don't really sit aware that we live in. Like until then, I'm blown away that a cop ever solved a crime. That's true detective work. If you go back to the 90s and you're like, there's footprints. These footprints, let's check the footprints against the shoes that have been made in the last 10 years. Like all that stuff is like real detective work. And when they caught someone, I think I would have been like, wow. How? This is crazy. Police now, they're just like, that looks like him in the video he made. I'm just saying, he said his whole name, so it might be him. You know, like him and this dude, they had beef, so then he beat him up on camera, recorded himself beating him up because he thought it would look cool, and then held up his own driver's license and then posted it to Instagram. It just seems like an open and shut case. Police work back in the day seemed like real work, I guess. Like that's how'd you catch anybody? They weren't here for it. Then you got to track down the people. Then you got to get interviews out of the people. The people don't want to cooperate because they're more scared of this person than they are of you. And then you got to connect dots. You got to wait for DNA stuff to come. The DNA testing wasn't even like that good up until recently. There was like bad DNA testing. The early stuff, they were on to something, but it was bad. They'd send it off, and the test results would come back. It is blood. You haven't helped me at all. Whose blood is it? Somebody red, I think. Like, it's got to be somebody red. Because the whole thing was red, so. And now you can enhance images. Even if you got a grainy image, you can zoom in and enhance it, and you can't necessarily enhance and upscale it the way that they did on TV, but a lot of science follows a lot of like entertainment. Like it's funny how that does keep happening, where there will be an idea, you'll see it on TV, it doesn't really exist that way, but then it almost becomes the design for the thing that will exist one day because it fits into the imagination so well. They're like, oh yeah, why don't we just have facial recognition that cross-references all the other faces we have in the database, and then you just run it and it goes face, 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 face. That's him. That's him. Wouldn't that be better? You know? But instead, you're talking about the 90s. You're talking about a time where you could just go for a nice long stroll, not be on camera anywhere potentially, depending on where you were. You know, you could make a call, you could make a phone call, and there would be a record with the cell phone company of who you called and when you called them. That type of thing was there. That level of like surveillance was in place, but they wouldn't necessarily know the whole content of the call. You know, not like now. Not like now where people basically do phone calls for the world. You know, you see these voice memos that people leave, and I'm like, that's the most, you might as well have just told me and the company what you had to say. People will leave a voice memo, and some of them are very sweet. I always love getting a voice memo. I'm just saying, they've already got on your phone, we'll summarize everything. We'll summarize it for you. Actually, I learned to read a long time ago, so I don't need you to summarize anything for me. You'll see a text message. Text message will be from your mom, and it'll say, "Mom expresses feelings of concern." But then you look at the company and you're like, why y'all read my text message? Like, we're not reading it. No, we're not reading it. We're not reading it at all. I'm like, that was a pretty good guess, though. When I opened the phone, it was my mom being like, I'm concerned about you. Just let me see my message. It's crazy. They don't do that anymore. You used to get a text message and then you would see like a little preview of it, and you could just read the preview, and based off the first half of the sentence, you could decide if it was something you were willing to reply to right now. You know? Because you can't just open it right away. It'll say read. But if you get a text message from someone and the first few sentences might pop up on your phone and it's like, where do you get off? You're like, all right, I'm gonna have to address that later. But now you get the text message and it's like a full summary of what you were definitely about to read anyway. That's weird. It's like, how does anybody get away with anything now? Especially now that crime is dumber. How does anybody get away? It takes you back to those times in like the 90s. Maybe you go for a walk, maybe you are just driving your car, and you're truly like free in a way. There's nobody really looking for every little move that you make. And in the case of Diddy, somebody should have been. Somebody should have been watching, checking the entire time. You know, you see in this documentary the relationship between Biggie and Tupac, the relationship between East Coast and West Coast, and how so much of the actual troubles were like orchestrated. They were stoked by Diddy. Like, Biggie liked Tupac. They were cool. And then Diddy was jealous of Pac. Diddy was jealous of Pac because Pac was everything he wanted to be. You know, he was charismatic. He was truly like a poet that could make you understand where he was coming from. You did not have any sort of similar life experiences to him at all, but he could express himself in a way that brought you in. No matter where you came from, there was real connection there. He could build and he could bring together real community, right? And so for that, he was loved, he was instantly accepted, he was praised. And if you're someone like Diddy, you see that and you're immediately jealous of it. It's everything you want to be. He's good looking, he's young, he's successful in a way that comes from his effortless talent and his hard work. He's everything that Diddy wanted to be, and that Diddy knows he isn't or wasn't. You know, Tupac was a rapper. Do you know what I mean? Like, Diddy, I know Diddy want to rap. Ooh, Diddy want to rap so bad. One of the most dastardly things this documentary has done in some of the editing is just showing Diddy dance for no reason. You can tell Diddy not talented from the way he dancing. I know it's a harsh statement to make, but Diddy dances. Diddy dances like Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder. Like, and Tom Cruise was on rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, Diddy was over here in the documentary. Like he was trying to land a plane. I was sitting there like, what am I watching? I'm just saying, you go back to that time, right? Go back to the time in the 90s when your phone was just a phone. Like the cell phone was only a phone. Nokia. You could make a call and play Snake. Maybe Centipede if you were fancy, but like that's all it was. It had that stick that came out of it, the antenna that shot out of it that for some reason wasn't out all the time. Why would you not pull it out all the time? If you want to have a good call, why do you need to pull it out? Shouldn't it just come out every single time? And then you would drop it. You drop your phone and it was not a big deal. Look at people that drop their phone now. This is how you can tell we're all addicted to our phone. Watching someone drop their phone is like watching somebody drop crack down a drain. They're like, oh! They had never before seen footage of the moments leading up to both Biggie and Pac's death. Never before seen, and not never before seen as in these are the tapes we've been looking for the whole time. We didn't even know these angles existed. That's crazy. And that's very hard to do. Like you see tragedies happen now, and because of social and because of search, people can pull for all the different angles, all the different sides to anything that has happened since everyone started carrying a cell phone, right? But this thing is crazy. You see them walking. You see Tupac walking all the way up until a fight that he got in, and then later you see through footage things that people have not seen before leading up to his death. Same thing with Biggie. There was this moment in the documentary where there's somebody sitting in their own car, right, with a camcorder, which is weird. I know we're going in the Wayback Machine, but even in the 90s, nobody sat in their car with a camcorder. That's a new thing. Recording yourself in your car is a new thing. It's a relatively new thing to humanity. We weren't doing this before maybe TikTok. Like, we weren't doing it that much, and now people record themselves in their car so much. Why did we start crying in the car? Look, I know it's already like a social phenomenon and everything, but we will need to stop. Like, that's people recording themselves crying in the car. Because the first video I saw somebody crying in the car, I don't remember what they were crying about, but they were talking about something, and it was something big. It was something happening in the world, but they were like, And I saw them in the car. And they were talking, they were like, it's just, this is so unfair, this is life, you know, it just comes at you, this is horrible, what are you supposed to do? And I remember sitting there like, okay, all right, they're making some valid points, I understand why they're upset, but who recording them right now? This is terrible. Why would somebody record them and then put it online? And then, because it was just, I was scrolling when I saw it. So then when I clicked on the profile, I saw it was their profile. I was like, oh, somebody done hacked them and posted a video of them crying. That's terrible. This is a true demon that got a hold of their footage and then posted to their page of them crying. That's so embarrassing. Oh, I hope they find justice, right? I was so interested, genuinely. I was so perplexed at what was happening, because then the other people commenting weren't addressing the fact that this person cry is their like, no, I seem to be the only one confused about what was happening. Everybody else in the comments was like, keep your head up, you know, like all this. And so, look, I was curious about how this was going to develop, because I've been, you know, witness to many of my friends that have been like hacked, especially when Facebook was like young, and then somebody would get on your Facebook, they type out a bunch of things on your timeline, just like dumb stuff, and then, you know, you would get them locked out, you get back on and everything. So I've seen this before, but I don't know, I was so invested in how this person was gonna come back from this that I did follow them, right? I hit follow just to be, because I'm expecting any day now they're gonna be like, hey, somebody, you know, broke into my account and posted me at my weakest moment. Thank y'all for the support, and so I follow. And then a couple days later, I saw another video. I saw the handle, and I saw a profile picture, so I saw that it was them again. And I'm sitting here scrolling up, and they're in their car again. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is where they're gonna say like, hey, somebody broke into my account. Thank y'all for the well wishes and everything, but I'm good. I don't want y'all to see me in that light. That was a very weak point for me. And so when I scrolled up, I'm fully expecting them to say the thing I just said, but then they started talking. They were like, yeah, I just wanted to reach out to everybody. Thank y'all so much. You know, the comments you left and the messages I got really touched me and everything. And just, and I was like, no, wait. There's no way though. No. And then I put it together. I was like, wait, they were recording themselves crying in their car. That's the most private time to cry. We need to go back, just for the sake, once again, of our mental health as a nation. We got to go back to just having a crash out parked in the car and let that be history. Like that. You are not your best when you cried in your car. I would throw it out there that maybe you don't want people hearing what you have to say when you're to the point where you break it down parked in your car somewhere. Stop broadcasting. This is bad. This is very bad. Because it's not, I've never seen a cry in my car video and been like, oh, yeah, that'll change things. I'm just saying, like, if you in the car, right? If you in the car, and you are upset, it's understandable. This life is hard, and sometimes people feel like they got to walk it all by themselves. They don't know the support they have. They don't know the people that they have in their life. And in those moments, there's an opportunity. You could use that time to reach out to someone and tell them that you need help. You could reach out to someone, and even if I'll even pitch this, if you're very bad at asking for help, right? Try to help someone else. Because the same bond that leads you to help someone else will then have them looking out for you whenever things are down for you, right? You have this thing in your phone. You have this thing. It's incredibly powerful, right? It tells everybody where you are. Government, friends, everybody. Everybody know where you are. Everybody knows where you are. Everybody knows. People you don't know where you are. People you've never met know where you are. Right now, they know you're here. Like, people know where you are because it's in your phone, but you also know where other people are. You can reach out to people. You need help. This could be a way that you get the help that you need. It could be. Or you could buy one of those little dashboard stands. You know, and it's got that little knuckle on it that you put the thing on from the back of your phone and you... Or you could do that. You could do that. That's an option. It's possible you could give that a shot as well. Because I do think, here's the thing, I'll throw out there. I do think that crying in the phone, like crying in the car on the phone, I think that genuinely came from a fundamental epidemic of loneliness. Do you know what I mean? Like that thing is not something that's born out of having a wealth of people to talk to. You know, it comes from being in a place where, sure, everyone will like shirk it off. They're just looking for attention, whatever. But I think it goes deeper than that. And I think it's people like literally, genuinely crying out for someone to hear what they have to say, for someone to have their back, for someone to get them, right? And so they reach out to the whole of the internet, and then what they get back in return, sometimes it's a bunch of hate, sometimes it's a bunch of love, whatever it is, sometimes it's just people, keep your head up, whatever. But I don't think it's a substitute for like genuine human connection, like having that person to sit in your car with you, to look at and go like that, like that's much better. That's just between the two of you. And instead of becoming your worst moment online, it becomes like an intimate moment you have with a friend who has your back, who you can cry to, right? I said all that to say somebody in the 90s was sitting in their car with a camcorder, like a camcorder, like a... Do you remember what this was? It was this metal with lenses in it and buttons, way too many buttons. They had more buttons than what the camcorder could do. The camcorder is over here promising all that good stuff, and then you hit the button and it look exactly the same. Nothing has changed at all. Sitting there with the camcorder. Because the camcorder had that strap. It had that strap right on the back, so that way, you know, you could do some real journalism, some true video journalism. You know what I mean? Some people had the camera and they had to hold the big thing and they got to put their eye into the little pocket. Not with the camcorder. Camcorder even had the little screen popped out. And so you just had it ready. Bow! I see everything. Where were these cameras even from? It's crazy. Where is the camera from? Because there's a thing that had never been aired before, where someone is in their car and they're like, is that Biggie? And then you hear pop, 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 pop. Oh my God, they just got shot. Somebody called somebody. And then you hear like someone who's like in the car calling 911, but you see from their perspective, first of all, who are they? Where have they been this entire time? That's crazy. Where did they? Maybe there is a chance that in all of this investigative, in the long time, apparently like a decade, that 50 Cent's been working on this documentary, that somebody somewhere was able to pay somebody for something that they had never given anybody before. And you know, there's also different reasons why you might hold on to something. Imagine you're there when something like this happens. You may not want to broadcast it to the world that you were right there and that you saw something on tape, because they didn't see a person, they just saw that these shots were happening, right? And so maybe you don't want to broadcast it because now you don't want to go to the police in a thing where they seem to have no leads and be like, oh, I have some extra information for you. Maybe, I don't know. It's plausible, but it seems just so wild that these two moments would meet up. That somebody would just be recording in their car with what had to be like a camcorder. Who just walked around with a camcorder in the 90s like that wasn't shooting their own document, like just in the car with the camcorder all the time in case something happens? Fast forward to present and it ends up in this Netflix documentary about Diddy. Maybe that's what happened. But what seems just as likely is that 50 Cent time traveled back in time. With the camcorder, right? Because you don't want the resolution to be too clear. People start asking questions. Time travel back in time, sat in the car and point the camcorder in the direction. Oh, is that Biggie? Pop, 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 pop. Oh no, someone shot Biggie. I'm gonna go back to the future. And there's so many, it's a documentary so full of detail, you almost have to rewatch it, because then there are things that go over your head the first time where you don't even realize how evil the thing that Diddy was, because so much information is flying at you. It's like information, here's a tidbit, here's an interview, first-hand account, somebody was there, baby oil. Here's another tidbit, here's a first-hand account, here's what someone had to say, here's something that we didn't even know Diddy did, baby oil. There's so many instances of them cutting to baby oil that sometimes some of the evil gets a little lost. You know, the idea that this man might have had so much to do with Biggie's death and then went on a campaign like he was Biggie's best friend in the entire world. It's not just insane that people let him get away with it. What's even worse is that he threw this memorable event, right? All throughout Bed-Stuy, Biggie's funeral, right? And then no one knew, I didn't know until I saw the documentary, that he made Biggie's estate pay for that funeral. Yeah, like that's... And if you get too distracted by the baby oil, you might miss that detail. You know? And it's a scary thing that what gets revealed in this documentary isn't just how bad Diddy was, it's also how bad so many of us want money, fame, something he could dangle over people that really let a lot of this abuse keep going, that really kept a lot of his secrets, that really kept people doing whatever it would take to be in the loop. You know, people can only have a real power over you when they have something that you want. Once you decide that you don't want it that bad or that you're going to get it for yourself, they have nothing over you. You know, and there were people who tried to do that, and so then Diddy would, you know, come at them with violence. At least if I can make you fearful. If I can't make you want anything, if I can make you fearful, I can keep you in line. You know, there's just so many people that have ended up dead. That's kind of like through the documentary sort of laid at Diddy's feet. Like either he's out here having people killed and doing all this stuff, or he's one of the unluckiest people to be around. Like, that's... Either way, I would never want a track record like that. I would never want people to be like, oh yeah, I met Josh Johnson a week ago and now I'm real sick. One of the things that's so harrowing about the documentary to me is that you see how long Diddy got away with things that people are saying plainly that he just did. They're saying, no, this thing just happened, and then everyone was acting like it was normal, and everybody was acting like it was normal because apparently it was normal. It was normal for him to do all these things, whether he was beating up somebody, he was abusing somebody, he was stealing from somebody. All these things were like incredibly normal, and it's genuinely terrifying that something like that was able to become normal for a person. But it was able to become normal because there are in instances, it's a hard judgment to pass, but there are certain instances where you see a shade of someone who is big and bad and powerful and using all that power for evil, and you see a shade of that in even some of the people around them that they might be mistreating. There were plenty of people that were like cool with all this mistreatment until it came around to them. Or they were cool with everything that Diddy was doing, as bad as it was. They could look the other way, they just wouldn't acknowledge it, but then they got fired. You know? And there is no Diddy without a bunch of little Diddies running around, wanting to be like him, wanting to emulate that sort of thing, wanting to have power, just so that they had choice what to do with it. Because one of the things that people with power like to do is they love to rob you of your choices. You know? There's always a choice to a degree. It may not be a choice that you like, but they love to rob the sort of feeling of freedom you have over your choices. You can make very hard choices. Someone could walk up to you and say, give me all your money or I'm going to kill you. And you could say, kill me. You could. It is a choice. Some people would say that's no choice. It is. It is a choice. They said, give me all your money or implies a different outcome. Right? Do this or this. That's your choice. It's not a good choice. Don't get me wrong. It's not something that I envy. It's not even something that I'm saying it's easy to walk away from. It's easy. It's scary. It's scary when someone with power wants something from you or they want to take something from you and you don't know how you're going to survive, right? But they don't get away with this thing. It takes time to become the person that Diddy was. It takes decades. It took him decades. It took everyone looking the other way for little things, then big things for so long that finally he does seem like this unstoppable, unbeatable force. He does beat people down in court. He does beat people down in person, all right? But these people can't get to where they are without us. They can't get to where they are without us looking the other way, without us slightly condoning, not quite condemning. They can't get that way without us. These people just don't come out of the woodwork. He started as this kid who didn't even drink, who didn't do drugs, but he had an idea in his head of what a man was and what a powerful man was, and he wanted to be those things at any cost. And so he took it upon himself to start himself down that road. Fast forward 20, 25 years later, this is the type of person who thinks he can beat people in front of cameras. You know? And what does it take to take down a person like that? Because they seem so powerful. They have so much money. Diddy valued at billions, right? What can you do to a billionaire? How do you take a person like that down? One piece at a time. All of us. It takes all of us not looking away. It takes all of us doing something. You know, because people have said in the documentary, people have said in interviews that when Diddy is like in his element, he's untouchable. You would think he was a god. But when you're alone in the room with him, you see, not only is this just a man, this is like still that like kind of scared kid, kind of insecure kid, right? That in no way condones anything that he's ever done. That in no way is like an excuse. I'm just saying that's like the truth. The armor is a facade, you know? One of the craziest things that has happened since the documentary came out is that Ja Rule came out against 50 Cent. and called him a snitch for making the documentary, which is not a popular side to take. That is weird. That's a weird thing to say when no one was talking to you at all. That's not a smart career or business move. You saw someone who still hates you produce a documentary for Netflix about someone else they hated that is 4 episodes long. You saw that and you thought to yourself, I'll get involved. Are you out of your mind? I was blown away. Called him a snitch and everything. Ja Rule, by the way, I looked up Ja Rule just to see what was up. Just, I wonder what Ja Rule had been up to, because it wasn't rapping, right? And most recently, the last time Ja Rule made headlines was because he got punched at a Brandy and Monica concert on their The Boy Is Mine tour. Where you get punched says a lot about where you are in life. Do you know what I mean? If you're a rapper and you get into a fight at a rap concert, that seems par for the course. If you are a rapper and you get punched backstage at an R&B concert, you must have had it coming. These people are singing melodies. I'm not a fighter, but one of the worst things to do is to get beat up to soft music. Imagine now. Imagine I went to a gospel concert and got slapped. We'd be like, well, he must have had it coming because they're here to worship. This is crazy. You got punched. And then he posted a video of himself, smiling at the camera, showing he didn't have like a mark on him or anything, which would be badass, except you got punched in the back of the head. Like, your face should be fine. If you have damage on your face from being punched in the back of your head, I'm very sorry to report you are dead, sir. That's what happens when you die. If you get hit in the back of the head and it affects the front. Imagine you get punched to Brandy's music. I've talked about it before. I've had fights, I'm not acting like I've won all of them or anything, but imagine if I got whooped to Taylor Swift. You wouldn't be able to respect me. Even when I hear that "you belong with me, son," I flinch. Like, that would change your whole life, getting beat up to Taylor Swift. Or like Maggie Rogers, like you get beat up to some indie music. Would destroy your reputation. I don't even know why would Ja say anything? The last notable thing you did was Fire Festival. Like you didn't go to jail, but Billy did. But you were his partner. You were in all the pictures with him. That's crazy. The only thing scarier than the documentary is that Diddy's gonna get out. I'm terrified. I've been talking reckless. I really thought he was gonna go down. I was positive. I was positive. I was so sure justice was gonna prevail. You know what I mean? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is so insane. The American justice system had one job, right? One job. Finally, a black dude did everything. And somehow this is the one that slips through the cracks. They That's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how many people I know have been arrested or gone to jail for something slight? They barely had it. But then a jury was like, maybe they did it. Let's send them away. Diddy and OJ are the two people that I've seen where I'm like, guys, what? What? This is crazy. You watch this. It's insane. You watch this documentary and you're like, wow, this dude is a true demon. Like in every sense of the word. Like he's so evil. It's horrible. It's horrible. The things that he did to people. There's never any excuse for it. No matter what your childhood was, no matter how much you're lacking in love, no matter what trauma you've been through. There are people who have always had it worse than other people that don't go about doing like evil business. And because I believe in like forces in a way. I do believe that there's some people that are so pulled to like the worst of their nature that they'll do whatever it takes to feed an ego, to keep a side of themselves quiet that makes them question the things that they're doing, you know? But I also truly believe in balance. I believe in balance, and I don't think that like any man is like truly a saint. All of us have our issues, all of us have our problems, and we have our things that keep us human. We have our mistakes, we have everything that drags a person down, right? So I would never try to put a person on a pedestal or make them some sort of living saint, because I don't know what their inner thoughts are. I don't actually know their heart. I don't know if the good that they do is to be seen doing good, or if it's to actually put more good in the world. I can't tell you. I have no idea. But because I grew up in a religious home with a grandma that really believed in Jesus, you know, I've seen that picture of Saint Michael stepping on Satan's neck, and I don't know, it just kind of feels like that's what 50 Cent is doing to Diddy. You know what I mean? Like, you got the sword and everything. Thank you for coming out on this exceptionally hot summer. This is genuinely crazy. This is like, this is bad. It's bad. Like when you walk outside, you don't even appreciate the sunlight. You know what I mean? Like, it's beautiful out and you're like, oh God. This is the type of weather where you're like, Greta was right. We might be doomed. We should have been listening when she was sailing, or whatever the first thing she said was. This is really bad. This is the type of weather where it's so hot you start getting weird offers. Like you go outside and there's just somebody standing on the corner like, hey, you give me $1 and I let you sit on my ice. I don't see any ice out here, sir. Trust me, there's ice. There's a bag behind you. It's also tough because I feel like it changes relationships too, you know? Like it's so hot, somebody could live so close, but the test of love is which one's leaving their apartment. You know what I mean? You know, you'll live next to somebody a 15-minute walk away, but it'll be like, I could die. I can't be doing that just out willy-nilly just for you to see me. We can FaceTime, all right? Like, I feel like even the way people are sexting must be different, you know? You're just texting somebody, middle of the day, like, hey, I got that AC. Oh no, it's not a window unit, babe. We doing central over here. I'll come through and get chili, baby. It's like weirdly still sexual, but it's all cooling related. Like, I got popsicles if you want. If you're feeling freaky, we could both just sit in front of the open fridge door. No, I was in Philly last weekend, and it was so hot. It was in the 90s, and it was so hot it made me want to be like a scammer. Like I wanted to just start going to like Zillow open houses. Places I have no intention on putting an offer down on. Just to stand in the AC, be like, oh, 2.5 bath, okay. And we actually have a beautiful patio outside. No, I believe you. I can see it. I can see it through the door. I can see it. No, don't do that. Sometimes someone that you love very, very much, right? Someone you care about deeply comes to you with a problem, and this problem is something like weighing heavily on them, right? It's taking up all their mental space or anything. And you love this person, right? And they come to you and they're telling you their problem. They're trusting you with whatever it is. And while they're telling you their problem, you realize that it's boring. Don't do that. Don't be good people right now. We've all had somebody come to us, a brother, a sister, an aunt. Someone has come to us, and you, as they're telling you their problem, you're like, I don't give a shit about any of this. Like, why are they even telling me? I can't even help. What are they doing? This is ruining my Saturday. So sometimes someone that you love very, very much, deeply, comes to you with something serious to them that's a real problem, and it's boring. But somehow, overhearing a stranger's problem is always fascinating. I'll give you some examples. So a couple weeks ago, I was on the bus because life ain't going the way you think, right? And so I was on the bus, you know, the people's limousine, right? And I was on the bus, and I was holding the rail, and another guy next to me was holding the rail, but he had his phone like this, right? Like tucked into his arm. And he was just like, I don't know what to do, all right? I do not know what to do. She keep fucking dudes off Facebook Marketplace. Yes, yes. I'm in. Tell me all. Because this man is on his phone like, I can't even trust her to go get a lamp. A couple days later, I was also on the bus because once again, life could be better, right? We'll get there, but until then, community Uber, right? And as I got on, I sat down next to this guy. Now, this guy is being louder, out loud, than my AirPods can get in my ear. So I don't even feel like I'm eavesdropping now. He offering this up to the class, okay? And so he's putting his phone down when I sat down next to him, but he was, calls somebody else. And basically, he calls this next person and tells them that the person he just got off the phone with was a woman who he had been hooking up with, who just called him to tell him that she was pregnant and she was keeping the baby, right? And I don't know the best place, but the bus is one of the worst places to find out you're gonna be a father, all right? The bus is top 3 bad places to find out you're gonna be a daddy, okay? It goes jail, the toilet, the bus, right? And so this man is like, talking on the phone, and then he goes, yeah, it's wild because we didn't even have sex this year. And I was like, oh no. He's gonna be a father. And they kept talking and they kept talking. Now I can't hear the other person on the other side of the line or anything, but I can just hear the like I can hear that noise is happening, right? And so then they must have asked the question that was on my mind, which was, when was the last time y'all slept together? And it was like, yeah, I haven't even seen her, or like we haven't hooked up since like August of last year. And I was like, uh-oh. He's not about to be a father. Like, oh. Fellas, we got to start learning at least a little bit about women's bodies. If nothing else, so we can't get fleeced like this. Like, this is... Because this man said, without stuttering, he was like, yeah, she's about 10 months along, right? I was like... oh. And then they kept talking, they realized he actually did get the math wrong, right? The math was wrong. It was 11 months. And I was like, okay, so when do I step in now as a stranger, right? Like, when do I step up and step in to help? Because I've been missed my stop. I missed my stop. I missed my stop at 10 months, right? And so I'm at least 11 minutes that way, right? And so finally, I leaned over to him. I was like, hey, bro, I couldn't help but hear, we all heard, I couldn't help but hear, and I have good news, I have bad news. The good news is you're not about to be a father. The bad news is you should maybe never be a father. You also overhear wild stuff like the heat changes people for real. Like there are things people do in the heat that they would not do otherwise. Like I was walking my dog, and in the background, like way down the street on the corner, I heard a little kid get into a fight with the ice cream man. Because once again, I'm walking my dog, and just in the distance I hear, nigga, it's a nickel. Even my dog was curious. Like, my dog and I both turned around. And the ice cream man was like, I don't care what it is, you short, little man. And this kid looked up, I don't know how old he was, looked up at the ice cream man, head can't reach the counter, and goes, your dick is short, I want my chocolate. how did we get here? How did these two individuals come together in this moment? Because one, who is this kid? But two, what happens in your life where you become an ice cream man that's really here to nickel and dime these kids? Like, that's really here to like actually buy actual nickels and dimes. Who says to themselves, you know what, I love passing out joy, but you know who needs to be taken down a peg? These children, okay? I'm trying to figure out what type of friend I am. You know, I think I'm a good friend to a certain degree. I feel like if I discover for myself the type of friend that I am, I'll be a better version of that friend to everybody, all right? Because I'll know my limits, I'll know what I'm willing to do, what I'm not, and everything. And I'm quickly realizing that I am not the advice friend. Don't come to me. Truly, don't come to me at all, because my advice to you will be directly related to how your problem affects me. I'm trying to let everybody know that now, in case, because you know, you never know. Sometimes you meet someone at the show, y'all become friends in real life, and then maybe they have a problem and they come to me, they're like, Josh, what should I do? I'm telling you right now, I am not objective. I'm not the one, right? Like, for instance, I have a lot of friends that are getting married this summer into the fall, right? So the big wedding season and everything. And so a couple of my friends have come to me, right? And you just need to know, if you're having troubles are normal, right? People get cold feet, people fight a lot leading up to a wedding, the stress, people's families sometimes don't get along, that stress. You know what I mean? Like, all of it is normal. But if you come to me, my advice to you will be directly correlated to if I already bought the gift. Because I had a friend come to me, his wedding was about, 2 weeks out, he was devastated and everything, and he was a good friend, so I had already bought his gift off the registry. It was a Vitamix 3500, so it was, yes, see, exactly, yes, 100%, yes. And so I'd already got that Vitamix, and anytime a relationship seems shaky, I look up the return policy just in case, and this particular model, they didn't carry anymore, so he comes to me and he's upset and everything, going on, and I'm just looking at the receipt. And so finally, he looking at me to say something. I was like, dog, you love her. Like, see your moon, your stars, all that stuff. Like, everybody cheat, okay? She gonna stop probably, like. I had a different friend come to me, and this friend, the wedding was about like 2 days, like two days out, and my man comes to me, and his problem was very specific, deeply specific. Basically, his fiance and the wedding planner had planned out the whole wedding, pretty much top to bottom. They weren't really asking him for much, but then he was offering up. He was like, is there anything that you need me to do that I can take off your plate? And she was like, no, we got it. And he was like, well, there's got to be something, like, I want to be involved somehow. And so then she told him that basically they had everything planned down to a T, but he could pick the placemat at the reception, right? Like the little place that as long as it was in line with the color theme, he could pick that. And so then my buddy poured over for like several days all these like little different, you couldn't even tell the difference between them, all these different placemats and stuff, and was like trying to make a good decision on the right one and everything. And he finally picked one, and basically it seems like maybe she didn't like it because she had the wedding planner change it last minute. And then they didn't really talk about it, so his feelings were kind of hurt because he was like, oh, that was my one thing, and I took some real pride in doing it, and she didn't say anything to me. And it was a destination wedding, and I hadn't bought my ticket yet. I hadn't bought my ticket, and I hadn't got a gift yet. And so he was telling me about it, and I was like, I wouldn't take that if I was you, dog. Like, for real. Sometimes you gotta put your foot down, all right? I've been watching some of the, like, older people in my life and everything, and it's crazy. My friend, his grandparents were together until his granddad passed away. And his granddad probably passed away at like 85 or something like that. But him and his grandmother got married young. So they were together for like 62 years or something like that. I mean, it's crazy. And people always want to know the sort of secrets to staying together and like having that sort of relationship, that bond. And, you know, he said that his grandma basically summed it all up very quickly. You know, she was like, if you want to be with somebody for the rest of your life, you have to know and accept that the first year is lust. The next 10 years are love. And everything else after that is spite. And she said spite without missing a beat. Like she's like, that's a secret ingredient. Like every day you wake up and you're like, we go to war. And basically, she tells this story about how the night that his grandpa passed away, they had this routine where his granddad pretty much wouldn't even sleep in the bed anymore. He would sleep in his chair that could recline, like his lazy boy, and then he would be falling asleep watching TV or something like that. But on that night, he went to bed with his grandma, and he passed away in his sleep, which is how a lot of people want to go. It's very peaceful, you know, next to somebody you love. And then he wasn't there, but his mom was. And his mom said that when she woke up, she was getting ready and like making breakfast and stuff, and she heard his grandma from the room. And what she heard wasn't like some blood-curdling scream or some like cry out or anything. She said she just heard, "Oh!" What? Ooh. And she apparently even said at the funeral that, you know, so many people were coming up to her and telling her how sweet it was that he went to make sure he was laying in bed with her the night that he passed instead of like in his chair or something. And she was like, ain't nothing sweet about it. He did that on purpose. He knew. No, he knew he was gonna die that night. And he wanted to put his cold ass feet on me one more time.
Because they were cold when they were cold when he was living, but then they were cold, right? And at a certain point, you get used to the cold, and then you turn around and he all. Just laying up there like. And I told him take out that trash, and he didn't do it.